Listen closely, my friends. Welcome to my channel. There are people in this world who walk through chaos and somehow nothing touches them. They get disrespected, but they don't react. They face pressure, but they don't break. They lose things, but they don't lose themselves. And when you look at them closely, you realize something strange. It's not that life is easier for them. It's that they've trained their mind in a way most people never will. Right now, you think your biggest problem is stress, people, overthinking, or emotions. But what if I told you your real problem is that your mind is untrained, and because of that, anyone, anything, or any situation can control you? Think about it. One message can ruin your mood. One insult can destroy your confidence. One bad day can break your momentum. That means you are not in control. And in a world where people are easily triggered, easily distracted, and easily manipulated, the person who controls their mind controls everything. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 powerful lessons that will make you mentally strong, calm under pressure, and emotionally untouchable. Not surface-level advice, but deep, practical, philosophical principles inspired by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and others. But understand this, these lessons are not easy. They will challenge you, they will expose you, they will force you to confront parts of yourself you've been avoiding, and most people will quit halfway. But if you stay until the end, you won't just feel motivated, you will start thinking differently. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Master the space between stimulus and response. There is a moment so small, so invisible, that most people never even notice it. It is the moment between what happens and how you react. Someone insults you. Something goes wrong. You feel anger, fear, or frustration. There is a moment. And in that moment, your entire life can be decided. But here's the problem. Most people never use that moment. They skip it. They react instantly. Someone disrespects them, and they fire back. Something doesn't go their way, and they panic. They feel anger, and they explode. And just like that, they lose control. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." But most people misunderstand this. They think it simply means staying calm, but it means something deeper. It means your power exists in the pause. That tiny gap between stimulus and response is where your freedom lives. Imagine a mountain. Storms hit it, winds crash against it, rain tries to erode it, but the mountain doesn't react. It doesn't move. It doesn't panic. It doesn't fight back, because it doesn't need to. It's grounded. Now compare that to a dry leaf. The wind blows, and the leaf flies. No control, no direction, no stability. Most people live like that leaf. Strong people become the mountain. Look at your own life. How many times have you said something you regret, reacted emotionally, overreacted to small situations? Let someone else control your mood. That's not weakness. That's a lack of awareness. Because if you were aware of that moment, you would choose differently. Next time something triggers you, don't respond immediately. Instead, pause for 3 to 5 seconds. Feel the emotion, but don't act on it. Observe it like an outsider, and ask yourself, do I want to react, or do I want to respond? That one question changes everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events, but only if you use that power. Because if you don't control your reaction, the world will control you. Think of the ocean. On the surface, waves are chaotic, loud, and violent. But deep below, it's silent, still, and untouchable. Your mind has levels. Most people live on the surface, which is why every small thing disturbs them. But when you train yourself to pause, you go deeper, and suddenly, nothing shakes you in the same way. The moment you stop reacting instantly, you stop being controlled, you stop being predictable, you stop being manipulated, and slowly, you become someone people can't read easily, someone who doesn't break under pressure, someone who chooses instead of reacts. That is power. Lesson 2. Detach your ego from what happens. Let me tell you something most people never realize. You are not hurt only by what happens. You are often hurt by what you think it means. Something happens, someone ignores you. You fail at something, Someone disrespects you, and instantly your mind creates a story. They don't respect me. I'm not good enough. I always fail. Something is wrong with me. But here's the truth. The event happened, and then your mind interpreted it. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." This is where most people lose control. They don't separate reality from their ego. They take everything personally, and everything becomes about them. And when your ego is attached to everything, everything can hurt you. Imagine a mirror in a forest. Whatever stands in front of it, it reflects. A lion walks by, it reflects the lion. A storm passes, it reflects the storm. A broken tree falls, it reflects that too. But the mirror is never affected. It doesn't become the storm. It doesn't become the destruction. It simply reflects reality as it is. That's how your mind should work. But instead, most people are like muddy water. Anything touches them, and they become disturbed. Their clarity disappears. Let's say someone doesn't reply to your message. Reality is simple. They didn't reply. That's it. But your mind says they're ignoring me. They don't value me. I did something wrong. Now your mood changes. Your energy drops. You start overthinking. All because of a story you created, not necessarily reality. From now on, start separating two things: what actually happened and what you're telling yourself about it. Train your mind to say, "This is what happened, and this is just my interpretation." That one habit breaks emotional illusions. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He would strip events down to their raw form. Instead of saying, "This is terrible, this is unfair," he would see it as an event, because when you remove unnecessary emotional labeling, you reduce unnecessary suffering. Think about the sky. Clouds come and go. Storms appear and disappear. Lightning strikes. Rain falls. But the sky remains. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your situations are like clouds. Your awareness is the sky. And the moment you identify with the sky instead of the clouds, you become harder to shake. When you detach your ego, something powerful happens. You stop taking everything personally. You stop reacting emotionally. You stop being easily hurt. And suddenly, people lose power over you because they can't control your interpretation anymore. The moment you stop making everything about yourself, you free yourself from unnecessary pain. You start seeing clearly, thinking clearly, and living with control. And that's rare. Lesson 3. Protect your energy like it's your life. Let's get brutally honest. Your biggest problem is not a lack of time. It's a lack of controlled energy. You wake up motivated, but by the end of the day you feel drained, irritated, and mentally exhausted. And you think you just need rest. But that's not always the real issue. You're leaking energy all day long, and you don't even notice it. It's not always the big problems that destroy you. It's the small, constant drains, pointless conversations, negative people, overthinking, scrolling, comparing yourself, reacting to everything. Every time you engage with something unnecessary, you lose a piece of your mental power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Whatever you expose your mind to affects you. If you surround yourself with chaos, you become more chaotic. If you constantly consume negativity, your mind becomes more negative. And if you don't control your environment can begin to control you. Imagine a clean river flowing through a forest, clear, calm, and pure. Now imagine toxic waste slowly being dumped into it. Not all at once, but little by little. At first nothing seems different, but over time the water becomes polluted. Life inside it begins to die. That's your mind. Every negative interaction and every useless distraction can become pollution, and if you don't protect your mind, you slowly lose clarity. You talk to someone who constantly complains, and after 10 minutes, you feel heavy. You scroll social media for 30 minutes, and suddenly your focus is gone. You argue with someone over something small, and now your whole day feels off. These are not random effects. This is energy loss. Start asking yourself one question: is this worth my energy? Before replying, before engaging, before reacting, pause and evaluate. because not everything deserves your attention, and attention is one of your most valuable resources. Your attention is your root. Where you place it determines your strength. You can't be mentally strong if you're constantly feeding your mind weakness. You can't stay calm if you keep feeding your mind chaos. You can't grow if your energy is being drained every day. Limit unnecessary conversations. Distance yourself from constant negativity. Reduce mindless scrolling. Stop reacting to everything. Spend time in silence. These are not small habits. These are energy shields. The moment you start protecting your energy, you stop feeling constantly drained and start feeling more powerful, because now your mind is no longer open to everything. It's controlled, and control is where strength begins. Lesson 4. Kill your expectations before they kill your peace. Let me ask you something. Why do you get frustrated? Why do you feel disappointed, angry, or irritated? Often it's because life didn't go the way you expected. The hidden cause of much suffering is expectation. You expect people to respect you. You expect things to go your way. You expect results for your effort. You expect fairness. And when reality doesn't match that expectation, you suffer. Not only because of reality, but because of the gap between what is and what you wanted. That gap is where frustration is born. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He trained himself to expect difficult people, unfair situations, and unexpected problems, not because he was negative, but because he wanted to be prepared. Imagine a river flowing through rocks. The river doesn't expect a straight path. It doesn't get angry at obstacles. It doesn't stop and complain. It adapts. It flows around, over and through. But humans often expect a straight road. And when life gives them rocks, they break. You help someone and expect appreciation, but they don't appreciate you. Now you feel hurt. But the pain didn't come only from helping. It came from expecting something in return. You work hard and expect success. Things don't work out, and now you feel like a failure. Again, expectation becomes part of the suffering. Start doing this before anything happens. Tell yourself, things might not go my way, people might disappoint me, plans might fail. This is not negativity, this is mental preparation. Because when you expect less from things outside your control, you can handle more. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do happen." That's power. It means stop trying to control reality and start learning how to work with it. Think about the weather. Sometimes it rains, sometimes it's sunny, sometimes there's a storm. You don't control it. Yet imagine getting angry every time it rains. That's what we often do with life. We get angry at things we never had control over. Expectation is like a silent contract that the world never signed, and every time that contract breaks, you suffer. Do your work without becoming obsessed with the result. Help people without demanding gratitude. Plan your day, but accept uncertainty. Expect challenges before they happen. This doesn't make you weak, it makes you adaptable. The moment you stop expecting life to be perfect, you stop being constantly disappointed by reality. You become flexible, calm, and stable. Like the river, you stop fighting life and learn to flow with it. Lesson 5. Turn pain into power. Let's be real. You feel anger, you feel frustration, you feel pain, and your first instinct is often, "I need to get rid of this." So you distract yourself, you suppress it, you avoid it. But here's the truth. Negative emotions are not automatically the problem. Your inability to handle and direct them can be the problem. Anger, frustration, and pain are raw energy. Uncontrolled, they can destroy you. Controlled, they can push you to grow. The Stoics never said you should never feel. The goal is to feel without allowing emotion to completely control your actions. You can feel anger without letting it decide what you do. You can feel pain without letting it define your identity. Think about a volcano. Inside there is pressure, heat, and explosive energy. If it erupts uncontrollably, it can destroy everything around it. But over time, volcanic activity can also create fertile land where life grows. That's your anger. Uncontrolled, destruction. Directed, creation. Someone disrespects you, and you explode. You argue, You lose control. Later, you regret it. Now imagine the same situation, but instead of reacting, you redirect that energy. You work harder. You improve yourself. You build discipline. Now that same emotion becomes fuel. Next time you feel a strong negative emotion, don't immediately suppress it, and don't react instantly. Instead, ask yourself, how can I use this? Turn anger into action. Turn frustration into focus. Turn pain into progress. Marcus Aurelius believed that obstacles can become part of the path forward. The very thing challenging you can also teach and strengthen you. Think of pressure deep inside the earth. Over time, pressure can create diamonds. Growth often requires discomfort. If you keep avoiding every difficult feeling, you may never develop resilience. But if you learn to face discomfort and use it constructively, you become stronger. When angry, direct your energy towards something productive. When frustrated, focus deeper. When hurt, build something meaningful. When rejected, improve yourself. Don't waste emotional energy. Redirect it. The moment you stop only running from pain and start learning from it, you become much harder to break, because now even difficult experiences can become fuel. Lesson 6. Destroy overthinking by returning to the present. Let me ask you something. How much time do you spend thinking about things that haven't even happened yet? Be honest. You imagine worst-case scenarios. You replay conversations in your head. You stress about the future. And slowly, you start feeling anxious about something that isn't even happening right now. Overthinking is not always productive thinking. Often it's uncontrolled imagination. You create problems that don't even exist yet. You fight battles that aren't real, and your mind reacts as if they are. That's the trap. Your body feels stress, your energy drops, your focus disappears, your peace is gone. All because of something that only exists in your imagination. The Stoics understood the importance of returning attention to the present. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly brought himself back to one question: what is happening right now? Not tomorrow, not later. Right now. Think about a deer in the wild. When there is danger, it reacts and runs. But once the danger is gone, it returns to what it was doing. It doesn't spend hours imagining every possible future disaster. Humans often do the opposite. We can sit safely and still create fear. You have an important conversation tomorrow. Instead of preparing calmly, you start imagining, what if I mess up? What if they judge me? What if everything goes wrong? Now your anxiety rises, your confidence drops, and by the time the moment arrives, you are already mentally exhausted. Not because of reality, but because of imagination. From now on, when your mind starts overthinking, ask yourself, is this happening right now? If the answer is no, bring yourself back. Focus on your breath. Notice your surroundings. Focus on what you're doing. Because reality exists in the present moment, everything else can become mental noise. Where your attention goes, your emotional state often follows. Think of your mind like a flashlight in the dark. Wherever you point it, that area becomes your focus. Point it constantly at fear, and fear grows. Bring it back to the present, and you create space for calm. Most of your anxiety may come from problems that haven't happened yet. Focus only on the next step. Bring your attention back to your breath. Stop endlessly replaying the past and predicting the future. This is not avoidance. This is control. The moment you stop living entirely inside your imagination, you start seeing reality more clearly, and often reality is not as terrible as your mind makes it seem. That's where peace begins. Lesson 7. Stop needing approval. Let me ask you something honestly. How much of what you do is actually for yourself, and how much of it is for approval? Think about it. You post something and keep checking who liked it. You do something good and wait for appreciation. You achieve something and want recognition. And when it doesn't come, you feel unseen, unappreciated, or not good enough. That means your self-worth may be in someone else's hands. The moment you depend completely on approval, you lose freedom. Your mood depends on others. Your confidence depends on others. Your decisions depend on others. And slowly, you stop being yourself. You start performing, acting, adjusting, just to be liked. Marcus Aurelius warned against living only for the opinions of others. Think about the sun. It shines. It doesn't ask, "Do they like my light? Are they appreciating me today?" It simply does what it does. That's a powerful lesson. Now compare that to a candle in the wind, a small breeze and it flickers. That's what happens when your confidence depends completely on approval. You do something good, but nobody notices, and suddenly your motivation disappears. Why? Because perhaps you weren't doing it only because it mattered to you. You were also doing it for validation. Start asking yourself daily, did I act according to my values? Not, did people like me? Did I get praised? If you acted according to your values, that matters. Real confidence comes from self-respect, not applause. Epictetus taught that growth may require being willing to look foolish in the eyes of others. Stop trying to look perfect. Stop trying to impress everyone, because growth requires discomfort, and constant approval seeking can prevent growth. Think of a tree growing in a forest. It doesn't compare itself. It doesn't ask for validation. It doesn't stop growing because nobody is watching. It grows because that is its nature. That's how you should live. If praise can completely control how powerful you feel, criticism can completely destroy you. Both give external opinions too much control, so do things even when nobody is watching. Stop constantly checking for validation. Accept that not everyone will like you. Focus on your standards, not everyone's opinions. Build a system where your opinion of your own actions matters. Because the moment you stop needing constant approval, you become freer. Free from unnecessary pressure, free from emotional dependence, and free to become who you actually want to be. Lesson 8. Learn to sit with yourself. Let's be honest. When was the last time you sat alone with no phone, no music, and no distraction? Just you and your thoughts. Most people struggle to do it. The moment silence appears, they reach for something. A screen, a video, a conversation. Why? Because sometimes silence brings us face to face with things we've been avoiding. Our thoughts, our insecurities, our fears, our unresolved emotions. And instead of facing them, we escape. But here's the truth. What you constantly avoid can continue to control you. The Stoics didn't run from their minds, they trained them. They spent time reflecting, observing, and understanding themselves. Because if you can't sit with yourself, it's difficult to truly understand yourself. Imagine a lake. When the surface is disturbed, you can't see anything clearly, everything is blurry and unstable. But when the water becomes still, it reflects everything clearly. That's your mind. When you're constantly distracted, your thoughts can become unclear and your emotions unstable. But in stillness, clarity can appear. You feel something is wrong. Stress, confusion, emotional discomfort, and instead of understanding it, you distract yourself. You scroll, you watch, you talk, you escape. Temporarily, it may feel better, but the unresolved feeling can return because you never faced it. Start small. Every day, sit in silence for 10 minutes. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just observe. Don't fight your thoughts. Don't judge them. Just notice them, like clouds passing through the sky. Marcus Aurelius wrote reflections for himself, not for public approval, but to examine his own mind. Self-reflection creates self-awareness. And when you understand yourself, you become less surprised by your own emotions and reactions. Think of the night sky. During the day, you can't see the stars because of too much light, but at night, when things become quieter, the stars appear. They were always there. You simply couldn't see them. The same can be true for your mind. Clarity may already exist within you. You just may not stay still long enough to notice it. If you can never be alone with your thoughts, you may become dependent on distraction. So sit in silence. Journal your thoughts. Observe your emotions without immediately reacting. Reduce constant stimulation. This is not doing nothing. This is mental training. The moment you become more comfortable in silence, you become stronger in chaos, because your peace no longer depends entirely on the outside world. It can begin to come from within. Lesson 9. Stop letting small things control you. Let me ask you something. The thing that's stressing you right now, will it matter in 1 year? Think carefully. That argument, that mistake, that embarrassment, that delay, will it still matter? Most of the time, probably not. Yet right now, it feels huge, overwhelming, like it's everything. The hidden problem is simple. Your perspective is too close. When you focus too closely on a problem, it looks bigger than it really is. Like putting your eye right next to an object, it blocks your entire vision. But the moment you step back, you see the full picture. Marcus Aurelius practiced mentally stepping back and looking at events from a larger perspective. Imagine looking at your city from the ground. Everything feels big, busy, loud and stressful. Now imagine looking at it from high above. Buildings look smaller, people become tiny, the noise disappears. Nothing changed except your perspective. You make a mistake in front of people. In that moment you feel embarrassed. You overthink it. You replay it again and again. But after a few weeks, you barely remember it. After a year, it may be completely gone. So why give it so much power now? Whenever something bothers you, ask yourself, will this matter in 1 year? Will this matter in 5 years? Will this matter at the end of my life? If the answer is no, don't give it your peace. The Stoics believed that your energy is limited, so focus it on what truly matters.